I'm joined now, once again, exclusively by John Ramsey, JonBenét Ramsey's father. John, it's good to see you again, as always. I'd never read so deeply into this person's story. I'd never read so deeply into the sheer volume of evidence and statements that Jacqueline gave the police. And I certainly had never heard one of the detectives say, we're not even sure if we tested it. What are your reactions to hearing that list? And I know you already know about it. There's no one who knows more about this case than you. But what's your reaction to this?
Well, some of the items you mentioned, I didn't know about. I know Jackie came to us early on. We'd hired our own investigators, and she'd come to us, I think, out of frustration with the police, and related pretty much the same thing that you just went through to us, and pretty compelling. And we had hoped that the police would hold through. And the problem was that they had decided on day one that it was the parents. I think they decided it was me. That one of the so-called detective that was there that morning said, well, she knew I was a killer because she saw it in my eyes, which is a remarkable talent. But this is kind of a nuisance to have to deal with in their mind because they already knew the answer. And so I don't know how thoroughly Chris Wolf was looked into. I've met with Jackie personally, not recently, but she's been very persistent in this for years. And she seems like a very solid, normal person to me, and very her story's very consistent in terms of what she believes and what her observations were. So I don't know.
John, do you have any idea, and I get it, I know that police work in secrecy, it's part of preserving an investigation, but we're 28 years in at this point. Do we know if the new and invigorated cold case team and anybody else in the Boulder PD who we've started to feel like they care a lot more about really solving this case, do we know if they're looking at any of her evidence? Did they keep any of the evidence that she turned over? Are they even asking Chris Wolf, he's alive, for his DNA today?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a very good question, and it's one I'll pose to them. We met with the chief of police and his staff a month or two ago, and had a good meeting. But as you say, they're very cautious to disclose what they're doing, which is, I understand why they do that. But that's a good question.
Do you have any idea if do you have any idea why this particular story seems to have been somewhat buried? I mean, it wasn't in the Netflix documentary that recently came out, which has been sort of the new generation's introduction to your daughter's case. Any idea why it just sort of fell by the wayside?
No, we had 4 or 5 people like this come to us, like Jackie, with pretty credible circumstantial information that made that candidate look very interesting. Chris Wolf was one of them. I don't know. That's a good question. I think, one of the people that had come to our attention was Gary Oliva, and he was in the news about the time this Netflix documentary was put together, just been released from prison. And he, on circumstantial stuff, he was pretty compelling as well. So I think Chris Wolf just kind of got lost in the chaos. And
well, Jacqueline Dilson has this book coming out, and it's certainly getting a lot more attention now. And all it takes is to match the DNA that they have now been able. The integrity of it is small, but that can be worked with to match that to an actual person. And who knows if they're doing that. John, will you come back again when we find out more about this?
I'd be happy to, Ashleigh. Thanks for your interest in it.
Well, I will never give up being interested in it. I feel that if there's anyone who deserves justice, sir, it is you. I do appreciate you being on tonight. Thank you, John.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.